What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. Today we're doing a cocktail called Siren of the Fjords, which was created by barman Robert Simpson for his London-based bar, the Clove Club. It is inspired by a 1930s actress named Sigrid Gurie, who was born in New York and raised in Norway, but then came back to be discovered by Samuel Goldwyn in Hollywood in the early 30s. She made 13 movies between 1937 and 1950. In the 1940s, she became a pretty celebrated painter, and she also became a pretty celebrated jewelry maker as well in the 1960s. She was billed by Samuel Goldwyn as the new Garbo and the Siren of the Fjords, and she was a pretty amazing actress. So let's get into the drink. First thing I forgot to say something, and I don't want to mess this up because you guys don't know this, but I've done a lot of takes today on this particular cocktail for some odd reason. But Marius actually brought up a really interesting piece of history about Sigrid Gurie. So Sigrid Gurie's brother was actually a World War II saboteur, which sabotaged a heavy water plant in Norway, which dealt a huge blow to the Nazis. Now, we were trying to figure out whether this was like a very influential sort of thing that he did, or if it changed the tides of the war, which we could not figure that out. We don't know if it actually did that, but it did deal a really heavy blow to the Nazis, and I just think that's a really interesting historical tidbit. Since a lot of you guys like the history, you guys would like that. All right, let's get into the drink. First thing we're going to do is a couple dashes of orange bitters. I almost said Angostura, but we're not doing Angostura, we're doing orange bitters. And then we're going to do a 1/4 ounce of Koki Torino sweet vermouth. And then we're going to do 3/8 ounce, and we're going to do it in the same thing. We're going to pour a little bit heavier on here because you can use this for a 1/4, but actually to the top of this is 3/8 ounce. So we're going to do 3/8 Pedro Jimenez Sherry and 3/8 dry Curacao from Pierre Ferrand, and this is the actual brand that Robert Simpson used. So if you sub it out, you may change the the flavor profile of the cocktail a little bit. Just let you know. Then we're going to do 1 ounce and 1/4 of Linie Aquavit. That's how you pronounce it. And you know how I know that? Because it's Norwegian, and Marius is Norwegian, and he was all, it's not pronounced Linie, dude. It's pronounced Linie. Linie, so it's Linie Aquavit. And what's cool about this Aquavit is it was, when it was created, they basically, this Norwegian company put it in a barrel and shipped it to the West Indies. And when it got there, nobody in the West Indies wanted to have this aquavit. It just wasn't popular. And so they shipped it back to Norway. And when it came back to Norway, someone opened the barrel and tasted it and realized that the voyage actually did, like the aging that happened over the voyage that this aquavit took, really greatly improved the flavor. So now when they make this particular aquavit, they barrel it, they put it on a ship, and they like recreate that voyage, which I think is pretty amazing. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's add our ice and get into it. We've got some nice well-tempered ice now because of all of this lovely talking and how many takes we've had to do. So we're gonna not have to stir it that heavy. So we're just gonna do a nice stir to chill it. There we go. And then just pour it into our glass. Now, sometimes when you crack ice, or you're using cracked ice, you'll get little ice chips in your drink, and I like to just take those out, because that's just going to add more dilution, and you stirred it to add a particular amount of dilution, so you don't want to add more. That's just me. Some people it doesn't bother them, they don't mind it. For me, I like to take it out, like just a nice clean look. And then we're just gonna spritz it with orange. And there we have it. The Siren of the Fjords. Let's take a sip. Oh yeah. You know, okay, so this particular PX sherry has like a really kind of raisiny flavor, and when you mix it with the orange and you mix it with the sweet vermouth, it actually tastes like vanilla. And I'm sure, assuming that the aquavit has something to do with that as well. But you can taste like everything being so well balanced. Like the Aquavit, you know, has a lot of those like caraway flavors and it has maybe a little bit of dill. I kind of want to taste it on its own. I didn't clean my palate and I am going to drink it out of a jigger, which you guys are going to be like, dude, come on, you're going to drink it out of a jigger? That's so gross. But I'll just remind you that I'm in my own house. Yeah, what's nice about this Aquavit is that it has kind of a spiced characteristic, and I'm assuming that's from the aging process. It has this kind of spicy characteristic, but this is a very well balanced drink. You get that nice fresh orange right on the nose, and then you get those deeper flavors. It's kind of, all of the flavors conspire to make this wonderful vanilla flavor. Oh yeah, that's brilliant. Oh yeah, that's a definite nicely done, Robert Simpson. I'm just gonna, nicely done. Here you have it, my friends, the Siren of the Fjords. Go and drink it. If you like our channel, please hit like and subscribe. And if you want to check us out on Patreon, you should. Patreon.com/theeducatedbarfly. We are doing all sorts of awesome, wonderful, exclusive content for our patrons. And I gotta say that I just gotta thank those patrons because your patronage goes a long way to helping us make the show, add shoot days, vary our content, and bring you what we are hoping is some of the best in cocktail tutorials and cocktail videos. I will see you guys next time.